Once upon a time, in a land not too far away, there was a little girl named Lila who loved dinosaurs more than anything in the world. She knew every single fact about them. She could identify their footprints and tell which dinosaur pooped where by just looking at it, and she could even roar like a T-Rex if she tried really hard. One day, while visiting her favorite place in the world, the local library, Lila discovered a mysterious book that no one had ever noticed before. It was shaped like a giant T-Rex tooth and was filled with pictures of dinosaurs that looked strangely familiar. As she flipped through the pages, each one seemed to come alive with movement, color, and sound. Lila couldn't believe her eyes. She felt like she had entered the world of dinosaurs. Then she saw something incredible. The dinosaurs were talking. They wanted to tell her all about themselves, from the tallest to the smallest, the fiercest to the gentlest. And so this is what they told her. This is the Stegosaurus. It was one of the most gentle giants that ever lived. It munched on plants all day long, and when the sun went down, it curled up into a ball and slept with its back to the sky. It showed its tail spikes to any other dinosaurs that got too close. This kept predators away because getting stabbed by those things hurt a lot. The Stegosaurus was a very shy dinosaur. It liked to hide its face behind its huge plates. These were like shields that covered its back and protected it from harm. But the Stegosaurus didn't use its plates for protection only. When the sun shone brightly, the plates would catch the light and make the Stegosaurus look like a million sparkling jewels. The Stegosaurus was so beautiful that day. The other dinosaurs stopped and stared. The Stegosaurus felt very proud. It raised its head high and walked slowly and carefully, making sure its plates glittered as much as possible. Soon, though, the sun hid behind the clouds and the Stegosaurus's plates became dull and lifeless. The Stegosaurus felt sad. It wanted to be beautiful again, so it started walking backwards, hoping to catch the sunlight from behind. But no matter how hard it tried, its plates just couldn't sparkle. Then the Stegosaurus had an idea. It bent its tail so that the sun would reflect off its plates from below. At first, this didn't work either, but then it remembered what its mother had once told it. Stand tall when you want to be beautiful. So the Stegosaurus stood on its tippy toes, and that's when it happened. The sunlight bounced off its plates and made it shine brighter than ever before. Lila gasped. She couldn't believe how beautiful the Stegosaurus was. Now she understood why the dinosaurs had called it a jewel. Next, the Triceratops wanted to show Lila how it protected itself. Its name meant 3 horns, and it used them to defend itself against dangerous predators. It also used its horns to clear away tall plants so it could eat the ones underneath. And sometimes it would play with its own reflection in the river and try to poke its horns into its own brain. That didn't work very well, though, because the reflection never stayed still. The Triceratops was having trouble finding food one day. All the plants were too tall, and its horns weren't sharp enough to push them over. The Triceratops sighed. It wished it had bigger, stronger horns. Just then, a big bush fell over. The Triceratops walked over to investigate and saw a young Triceratops stuck underneath it. Without thinking twice, the big Triceratops put its horns under the bush and pushed it over. The little Triceratops got free. It looked up at the other one and said, "Thank you." Then it noticed the scratches on its friend's horns and asked, "Are you okay?" The big Triceratops looked down at its horns. It realized that they weren't as strong or sharp as they used to be. The little Triceratops smiled and said, "Don't worry. You can fix that.
Just head over to the big rock and rub your horns against it.
That'll sharpen them right up." The big Triceratops thanked the little one and trotted over to the rock. It rubbed its horns back and forth until they were as sharp as knives. Then it went back to the bush and used its new horns to dig out some roots and yummy leaves. It was the best meal it had ever eaten. After it finished, the big Triceratops felt happy and proud. It was glad to have such a brave and helpful friend, and now it knew exactly how to protect itself whenever it needed to. The last dinosaur wanted to show Lila how it flew. It was called a pterodactyl. It had leathery wings that stretched almost 40 feet across. With these, it could swoop and soar through the air like a giant kite. It could also dive straight down like a stone and snatch fish right out of the water with its giant claws. But the pterodactyl wasn't just fierce. It was also very graceful. It glided through the air with such elegance that it looked like a bird made of stone. One day, the pterodactyl was flying over the jungle when it saw a little animal scampering around the tops of the trees. It was trying to escape a hungry snake. The pterodactyl swooped down and snatched the snake right out of the air. Then it dropped the snake into the river below. The little animal scampered up onto the pterodactyl's back and said, "Thank you." "Where are you going?" the little animal asked. "I'm going to see my friend," the tree frog. "He lives at the top of that big tree over there," the pterodactyl replied. "Would you like to come along?" The little animal thought for a moment. "Well, actually, I'm on my way to see the wise owl. I asked him to help me find food that tastes like sweet nectar. Do you know where he lives?" The pterodactyl shook his head. "I'm afraid I don't." "But if you tell me what he looks like, I'm sure I can find him." The little animal nodded and described the wise owl in great detail. Soon, the pterodactyl spotted a large tree with a hole in it. "That looks promising. Let's go check it out," said the pterodactyl. So they flew over and landed on a branch in front of the hole. A wise face peered out at them. "Is this the wise owl?" the little animal asked. "Yes, it is. Come in, said the owl. The little animal explained what it was looking for, and the wise owl replied, "If you want to find food that tastes like sweet nectar, you should head over to the north side of the river and look for trees with purple leaves." The little animal thanked the wise owl and climbed back onto the pterodactyl's back. Soon they were soaring above the river, searching for the juiciest, sweetest fruits they could find. The little animal reached out its hand, closed its eyes, and took a bite. It tasted delicious. "Thank you, pterodactyl," said the little animal. "You're welcome." "I love to make new friends," said the pterodactyl. As the sun began to set, the dinosaurs gathered around Lila and thanked her for listening to them. She had been a wonderful friend and had learned so much about the dinosaurs. Then they all disappeared. The book turned back into a tooth, and Lila knew that she would never forget her amazing adventure.